This podcast is powered by Masterpiece Kingdom Brands. This episode is made possible by OhNothingNonprofit.org. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's show. And today we are so honored to have with us a kingdom entrepreneur, a talented musician, and a drummer from Orlando, Florida. Please welcome to the show, David Hill.
What's up?
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What about yourself?
So good. So good. It's so glad to have you here. Can you please tell us a little bit of what you do and what's keeping you busy? And I normally ask, how do you change the world every day?
Wow. So I'll start with, how do I change the world every day? By waking up with knowing my purpose and putting an action to what it is that I believe, what it is that I see, what it is that God has called me to do, where he's called me to be. And so I'm just living intentionally, connecting with people, sharing my testimony, encouraging people. Those are some of the many ways that I wake up and change the world daily. And so, like you said, I am a kingdom entrepreneur, originally from Miami, Florida, residing in Orlando, Florida currently. There are so many things that keep me busy. I'm thankful for the opportunity to have many gifts and talents and be called to many spaces. So I'm a full-time musician. I also work and do things in my local church, traveling quite a bit, traveling a lot. Living in a suitcase hasn't gotten boring yet. It's super fun connecting with different people, seeing and being exposed to many different cultures, like the places that I've been, the people I've met, the opportunities I've had. It's literally like a dream book. It's literally like, I just can't imagine, and so it's been awesome. So I'm a full-time musician. I do weddings, I do corporate events, I do church conferences, I do recording sessions, just a wide variety of things. I'm very open. I've been taught by my dad, who is also a musician, coming from a musically inclined family, to just create value for myself, learn different things, learn different cultures, learn different music. That way you create different opportunities for yourself and you make yourself valuable. So I do quite a bit of things. The entrepreneur side of me, I'm currently rebuilding and, just kind of redoing my vision, because as times and seasons change, there are different things that become a priority. So I'll be getting back into a real estate sort of field, as well as just clothing. I have a bunch of different ideas and entrepreneurship ideas that I'm called to. And at the end of the day, that all forms back to my purpose. That all comes back to helping people, encouraging people, loving on people, being a witness to God's hand and God's favor on my life. How do you do it all? There's 24 hours in a day. I only sleep 4 or 5 of them because my mind is like, how do I become, I have this joke that it's like, as soon as I try to go lay down to take a nap or go to sleep, my mind is like, how do you end world hunger by tomorrow? How do you become a millionaire in the next 3 hours? How do I save my family and my generation? My heart, my mind it's always going if there's a fear that I've ever said that I had, it's not fulfilling my purpose, because the reality is attached to my purpose, attached to my obedience, attached to going to that place, and playing a gig or an opportunity or connecting with a person it's attached to someone's life being saved, someone being encouraged, someone recognizing that they do have a purpose. And it's a domino effect. As I connect with someone and as I help them, I always say, hey, pay it forward. So as they have a great experience with me and they learn things, they're going to take that great experience and share it to someone else. And man, I learned this thing, I see this in you. Let's pass it forward. And that's how I change the world every day.
That is a lot.
I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. I'm super
it's so good. I think
passionate about this.
Absolutely. I think we can hear the passion. And I know, especially when you're a creative person. And I personally believe that, being the creative is it's a special gift that we get to share, that godlike ability to create and to create for the world. But I can also be a little bit like crazy because of exactly that. Like we're too passionate. And I think most importantly, for someone who's in music, in the music industry, that transcends all languages, that probably is even a more, it's an interesting kind of feeling. And speaking of your experience, and I know our viewers are probably thinking about like, wow, is that for real? Like, you're a professional musician, and I mean, we see a lot of artists, and it's an industry that's very big, and a lot of people dream about being in this industry. So my question is like, what's been your most unforgettable and memorable gig or some sort of like experience in this music industry that you're in?
I would say my most unforgettable and memorable experience would have to be back in 2019, being able to travel to Bogota, Colombia to do a Christian gospel festival. And the amount of people that I was able to play in front of was 80,000 people. That will forever.
Wait. Like 80,000 people.
80,000 screaming people who spoke no English. Like, it was absolutely incredible. It was a feeling that I will never forget. I will never forget. And, that was one of those moments where I made a promise to God to never complain. Like, God, if you didn't allow me to do anything else, this right here for me, that's a big accomplishment. Like, that's huge. There's so many components of that, but that will forever stand.
Did you ever have an idea how big that event was, or you just showed up and?
I didn't have an idea. I did.
So how did you feel when you were? Because you're obviously on center stage playing drums, and how? I mean, I don't know. I'll probably like melt in front. But how did you feel about it? Like, were you?
Honestly, I felt great. It felt normal because I know that it's always been a dream of mine, and I've been shown playing in front of people, speaking in front of people from a very young age. It was normal. And I always say that, for me, especially in any setting, playing music, I think about people. I see people. The music is a connection. It's a communication of a language. And so I think about the people, and that takes away all my nerves. That takes away anything that could bother me. So, in that time or anytime I play, there's an ease, there's a comfort, there's a connection that comes. And I always say, like, big crowds, I thrive in those spaces. And I always say, like, you want to make me nervous, like, put me in front of 3 people and say, hey, play. Like, it was like 3 people that are literally just staring at you. All right, cool. Yeah, go right ahead. That right there literally makes me like sweat. But hundreds, thousands of people, I thrive in those spaces. Like, that does not bother me. It does not make me anxious. I love it. I love
you're feeding from their energy, and it
absolutely.
That's amazing. That's like, yeah, that's totally true. I think it's smaller crowds are, when you're in a boardroom and you're like presenting something, that's like next level nerves as well. So, wow, that's very inspiring, and what a privilege to be doing that. Hey.
Big privilege.
So you said that you do different kinds of music. So weddings, and I mean, obviously, these are very different situations, and live worships and music production and everything. I have high respect for musicians. It's really a hard job. I don't understand it, but it's amazing. But it's really cool. But my question is, like, what's your favorite part about what you get to do?
My favorite part about what I get to do is that no experience or no opportunity is alike the other. From the place, the people, how things may go, it is all different. Nothing is alike. And so even in that, as everything's being different, I realize what I enjoy the most, or I look forward to, is the outcome after. Being or creating a memorable experience, not only in playing, but the experience that I'm able to have with someone, because of my character. So after the opportunity is over, things happen. Oh man, I need a drummer. I need something for this. Or, hey, I may have done a gig, playing drums, but someone is like, a conversation comes about and they're like, hey, I need a speaker for something. Who can I think of? Wait, David, I know he's a drummer, but according to his social media, according to, the conversations that we've had, he would be great for that opportunity. So, looking forward to things like that, I enjoy that. I enjoy people. I enjoy learning because I'm a student. People learn in entertainment business and production in this space that things happen. I always tell people, be someone that is able to adapt. I know the call time was 3 p.m., but something happened. Can't start till 5 and the starts at 6. What are you gonna freak out? Like, this still needs to get done. So being able to realize that there are things that we learn and that are embedded in us that help us be able to maneuver in different situations and prosper. So I look forward to those challenges. I've been a person where, a leader is anxious and stressed out, and I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Let's try this. Because you being anxious, you're spreading all that to everyone, and we're going to create an event that is not going to be good. So let me be the piece here, and let's try to walk through this so that we can be successful. We have a job to get done. So yeah, I look forward to seeing places. I mean, that is a big piece. Like, even within Florida, the amount of hotels, convention center, buildings that I've been able to play in is, I can't even keep up. Like, wow. I can't even keep up. So it's amazing.
That's amazing. And speaking of that kind of level, I think that people always, see you on social media and they see the highlights, of course. And most probably might think sometimes with people watching us is that they only see the fruit. Like, people love seeing the fruit and we celebrate that, but nobody actually wants to go through the process of bearing fruit and the progress behind it. So this didn't happen overnight that you do what you do now. Like, how early did you start and how did you get there to the level of like the excellence that you practice now? Like, what did you do? Did you do like classes, or like, what are the sacrifices that people don't normally know behind a good performance like that?
Okay, so very weighty question, but very easy. Like, from a standpoint of excellence and where did I get my start, everything goes back to church. Like, everything goes back to my family. Like, I've been playing the drums since maybe like 5 years old, and I know that is the story of a lot of musicians and creatives, whether they're in a church space or secular space. I don't care who you are. People have gotten their start in church. That's the culture of church, to be a breeding ground. It's a place that you can mess up. It's a place that you're held accountable. Because in secular spaces in the world, excellence is the only option. Like, I mean, when you get to the levels of the Grammys and the Oscars, like, there's an excellence that is expected. There's an excellence that is desired. And that's the only option. So starting in church from a very young age, in a family church, like I said, musically inclined family, and that was just embedded, and I believe in the experiences and the opportunities that, I've had. I was able to see forward, and so were the people who were leading me and helping me. They were like, okay, I know someday there's such a great potential in this guy and his talent, and I'm breeding him and I'm helping him and I'm encouraging him to be successful down the line if this is a part of his purpose, if this is what he chooses to do. So starting in church from a very young age, also being exposed to excellence, seeing excellence really, really played a part. Remaining a student, it's something that my dad embedded in me. Like, remain a student, you remain humble, you have never arrived. I don't care if you did the Grammys 30 times. There is something to learn. There's another level to go to, because the reality is there are 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds that are way better than I am right now. So to stay humble, to be appreciative, to help others is really, really, really big. But yeah, starting from a very, very young age, being exposed to excellence, remaining a student has really, 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 really helped.
That's good. Hey, and I mean, I myself as a product of a small church, and it's incredible to see how you're absolutely right. Like church is a breeding ground. Like if I remember it right, I designed a T-shirt for a kids camp, and that was the first time I felt like, oh, I actually did something good and something right. I mean, my goodness, what was that kind of like? It's a very simple T-shirt, but that was really, it stirred the potential, and our leaders talk to us and encourage us, and that's why I think that's a very, very good place to start and to cultivate talent. I 100% agree to that. Now, on the other side, what's the most challenging part of your ministry and your profession?
I would say the most challenging part is staying inspired, creating a balance, a healthy balance, because I believe a lot of times creatives or people make their identity what they do, and sometimes they miss who they really are.
Can you repeat that again?
So a challenge is not allowing my identity to be what I do. Like a lot of creatives make their identity what they do. Yes, you play the bass guitar. Yes, you are an entrepreneur, but before that, you are a person, you are a human being. You're David, you're Norbert, you're Deborah, you're Jenny, whoever, God created you to, first of all, your identity is in Christ. So when you realize that, everything else is an overflow. It's an extension of the identity of that. Being a drummer is not who I am. It's what I do, and it's a part of me, but it is not who I am. And I believe that there's such power in that small phrase. And I've had friends and I've had colleagues who, let's go back and talk about the pandemic. That really exposed where people's identity lied, and it affected me, and it caused correction for me. You have to realize that 2019 was one of the most
your highlight. Yeah.
It was my highlight. I traveled and traveled and traveled. I'm like, where am I? Do I have a home? Like, the amount of traveling was astronomical. When you get to a place where the flight attendants know you in almost every city, it's just like, oh, he's back. He'll be here for 2 days. All right, cool.
Of course.
So that just speaks volumes. And so what I realized, so I came off of 2019. And so going into 2020, you got to realize I'm playing in front of 80,000 people. I'm filling up my passport. I'm doing all these things. And now the world shuts down. I'm not playing any drums. There is no one calling my phone. Can you do this? And, you can't leave the house. You have to stay by yourself. That was daunting. It was like the door of depression was like, here I am. And so, it was almost like one of those things like where you fought for your life. And it's like, how do I remain sane? Like, no, I get energy. I thrive in getting on planes. I thrive in connecting with people. And now it's like, no, you can't do any of that. Find yourself. It was a very, very challenging thing, but I will say, it allowed me to connect with God. It allowed me to see people and connect and really do the hard work. Hey, man, you are an awesome drummer. You are an awesome business person. You're awesome this, you're awesome that. But that's not who you are. It's what you do. It's a part of you. And so when you disconnect those, because if I walked around all the time and I'm just a drummer, okay, when I go to sleep, I'm going to be unfulfilled because I'm not, doing my identity. That's not your identity. It's what you do. And the reality is like, God is allowing you to borrow those talents and those gifts, and he's calling us to steward them correctly.
I love that. That's so good. To borrow. I love that. That it is not even ours. It is just entrusted to us.
Yes.
And a lot of people, get confused that, they find their identity on what they do. But at the beginning, we are God's children first, more than anything else. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. I think I have two more questions here. Speaking of borrowed gifts, and obviously you've stewarded them very well. What is your best practice? Like if you can give like tips to other freelance creatives or those who are still starting in their quest of, going into the music industry or doing stuff like this, what are the best practices that you can give them as an advice?
Awesome, for sure. Be consistent, believe in yourself, strive to be different. Like there are many drummers, there are many creatives, and no matter where you are, whether you are experienced, whether you have been doing it for years or you're starting out, seeing all that is going on in the world can be very intimidating. And I guarantee there will be a thought and there will be times where people will believe the lie that there's no space for me.
Wow.
If you have the thought and you have the idea and God is giving you that and he's calling forth for you to make it happen, there is space for you. There is space for you. And here's the thing, it is challenging. However, it is very possible, and it is not going to be handed to you. I will not lie and say it will be a sweatless victory. I have learned, and this is something that my dad told me, and it's embedded within me. Nothing worth having comes easy. There will be a fight. There will be a challenge. And just like, to go off a bit, when we think about what the Bible talks about when count it all joy when we have challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
That those things are not to frustrate you. Those things are to build you up and to give life a meaning, to give your purpose a meaning. And you learn invaluable lessons. You learn things that are embedded with you that help you drive, that help you focus and add meaning. So it is not going to be easy, and it'll get better. But the reality is you have to show up. Build an endurance, build a strength in you to show up daily. I can't tell you how many times, because there's so many components that come with that. Like you can have the energy of connecting with people, have a great performance or have great sales. And then when the people leave the arena, there is a component where you have to disconnect with that. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, there was just 100,000 people in here. Now it's just literally me and the drums. And there's thoughts that come in your head that are like, who am I? What do I do? How do I function now? I was just Superman. Now I'm just David. So I think it's important to be able to connect and release. Like, all right, cool. Now this is done. I'm on to the next thing. Oh, I may have some things going on with my family. I may have this challenge, so build yourself up, become strong, become viable, be able to adapt, because we will have challenges. Things will happen. There are things that will happen out of our control. It doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. Challenges are inevitable. Changes are inevitable. Opportunities are inevitable. But at the end of the day, we are called to show up. Nothing is going to be handed to us. We have to show up. Faith is not what you believe. Faith is what you do. Faith is in action. So have faith, believe, study, learn about your industry, learn about the people who are successful. Have a mentor, have a coach, have someone who will allow you to not make the same mistakes that they made.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is so true. It's so valuable. I 100% agree on all points. Wow. It's just such a good conversation. And I think I want to sort of close this with this. I want to show you something. I saw this on your feed and I would love to show it to you. Okay. I saw this picture. I think it was like a picture in 2022. And it just hit me. Can you please tell us what is going on right at this moment? Like, where are you? Why is there a child with a drumstick? And just tell us what happened during this time.
Okay, so very briefly, there is a evangelist that I travel with, that I work with full time. Her name is Jenny Weaver. She is not only an evangelist, but she's like a mother. She's like a friend. She's a mentor. She's a coach. She's a very big and influential part of my life. So monthly or randomly at any time this could happen. She has these things where are called retreats. And basically there are big gatherings of Christians, of believers, and it is open to anyone. Like there is no limit to who can involve. We just literally desire to display kingdom. And so this was back in December. It was in Orlando. And so I was leading worship, just playing the drums as, as it was normal. And so I'm very observant in worship settings. And so I just noticed this kid, he was just, I mean, if there was anything that he saw, he would play the drums. I mean, you could be standing in front of him and he would make your leg a drum. Like, and so he was just very, very, and I'll share with you like some other videos that I've come up. I've never seen anyone play drums with straws on leaves and be great. After the conference was done, everyone kept, showing me him and I would just see him. And so after we were done, he walked up to me. I gave him some drumsticks and I allowed him to play the drums. This young man is 3 years old.
Wow.
3 years old. And the understanding of music, his retention is second to none. If he hears a song on the radio, it's embedded in him. He can repeat it back with almost perfect pitch. And so everything that I did, he mimicked to the T. And so I connected with him, and that's his mom in the picture. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is children. It's the youth. Everything, a part of what I do, it's about them. It's about paying it forward. It's not about me. It's not about accomplishments, but it's about how can I connect? How can I make a difference? These kids, these youth, they are watching. They need positive influence. They need the opportunity to connect. And the reality is people, young or old, they look at people in places of authority and places of influence, leading worship. They look at those people as wow, you are not that necessarily you're important, but you have a gift. You are using it to glory. You are an inspiration. You are motivation. For people to see the fruits of where I am, being able to travel the world, being able to connect with people like that. And so, like I said, I'm very passionate about youth. I'm very passionate about children. As I was able to connect with him and I gave him some drumsticks, I went home and I could not sleep. And so, everyone was tagging me in the videos of the young kid. And, I was able to connect with his mom. And I said, I'm sorry, this is going to be a little weird, but so a lot of people were coming from all over the world. They're not even from here. They're from Ohio. So people would come in for a couple of days and leave. And so I had this feeling that I could not let go. And I was like, man, I need to connect with him again. And God literally said, I want you to connect with him and his family, and I want you to pray over him, and I want you to go to lunch. And so I was like, hey, I know this is kind of weird, but would you mind if we connected and gone to lunch, before you guys leave? I just feel called and I have this urgency to connect with you guys and pray over him because he is special. He is special. He is anointed. And there's so much that I've been able to realize in his heart that is way beyond music. Yes, musically, he's super talented, he's super anointed, but there is a level of grace and a level of compassion that God has embedded in him and that he's going to be able to make a difference. And she was like, yeah, sure, let's connect, let's go to lunch. And mind you, when I met him, there was really no words exchange. I was just like, hey, man, you're awesome. Get on the drums and play. I never told him my name. And so when we met, I was standing there at the restaurant and his family came and he runs up to me. And he's like, David, oh my gosh, David. And he had the drumsticks in his hand. And I'm sitting here I could cry talking about this right now. It was just this wonderful feeling of fulfillment to be able to say, man, I'm making an impact. I'm connecting, with this young man, saying things, doing things that will ever be embedded in his memory. They will make a difference in his life. They will make a difference in his family's life. And so that right there is true success. That right there is utilizing your influence. That right there is making room for a gift. It's not about any money that I can make. It's not about any accolades. That right there matters the most.
Wow.
So
wow. Thank you for sharing that story. That is very, very inspiring. And again, that's one thing I love about God is that he also allows us to experience, moments like this to reassure us that it's going to be good. You're doing a good job and there's grace, your grace for that season. David, it has been an honor and a privilege talking to you. What an amazing man of God you are. And absolutely very inspiring. I wish you well in all your entrepreneurial endeavors and in everything and wherever God calls you to go and in whatever spaces and rooms you're going to be. Thank you for your obedience and thank you for inspiring us.
Thank you so much. It was a privilege and a great honor. I look forward to what is to come. And for whoever is listening, wherever you are, whatever you do, wherever you're called to go, trust God, have faith in God. There is space for you. Remain resilient. Be resilient. There is space for you. There are challenges, and the challenges that are come are not to create frustration, but to build you up, to build your faith, to create valuable lessons that you can not only utilize in your life to create a difference, to make a difference, but to make a difference in someone else's life and to create legacy. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I believe in you. God believes in you, and he has great plans for you to prosper and do great things. So be encouraged, make a difference. You are the difference. It starts with you. All right.
Amen. Thank you so much, David. Just quickly, where can people connect with you and how can they get hold of you?
All right. Well, I am on Instagram at It's David Hill, ITS David Hill. On Facebook, David Hill. And yes, I'll be working on some more things, just kind of rebuilding, revamping. And I look forward to connecting with whoever hears this, whoever needs this, wherever you are. I love conversing. I love helping. So don't be shy. Please connect with me. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's make the world a better place. Let's change the world one day at a time.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, David.
No problem. All right.
Thank you for joining us. Today's podcast episode was brought to you by OhNothingNonprofit.org.